Hello friends, my name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of Help, I Think My Loved One is an Alcoholic, a survival guide for lovers, family, and friends. And welcome back to our step study. Today we're studying step 10 and I can't believe we're almost done with our step study. But like step 10 proves, you're never completely done with the 12 steps and with personal analysis. As step 10 is, continue to take personal inventory and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Step 10 is referred to as a maintenance step. It can be daily maintenance, spot maintenance, or periodic maintenance. It's looking at yourself. And for the first time I read that inventory means emotional disturbances. So when we talk about taking personal inventory, we're talking about taking inventory of our emotions, our emotional disturbances, and whatever's going on in our psyche. So let's take a look at the 3 ways that you can do continued maintenance. The first way is to spot check in the moment. So if something's happening, if you're not feeling quite right, or if you're feeling a little bit disturbed or upset, you can take a look at it and go, what am I not getting here? Or what am I not doing here? Or how am I about to react? So it allows you to think about how you're going to react in regards to how you've reacted in the past. And you can look at yourself and say, I would like to continue with this action, or I'd like to do something else in the near future, now or in the near future. So it's really looking at that. It's spot checking, but it's also looking at your successes. And for all the 3 ways you can do your personal inventory as a continual process, you really want to celebrate your successes as well as look at your setbacks. You want to celebrate the things that you have changed. Now, I have a super hard time with this, as you probably do too. As someone who is a recovering alcoholic or addict, or as someone who loves an alcoholic or addict, oftentimes we're very hard on ourselves and we seek perfection. Now remember, the AA slogan and the Al-Anon slogan is progress, not perfection. And you really need to keep this in mind, especially when going over your personal inventory in step 10. So we look at our progresses. We look at how did I react this time versus last time, or versus 5 times ago, or maybe how am I reacting now versus how I reacted before I even started the program. So you need to celebrate your successes, look at the progress that you're making each and every way, and really celebrate that. But then be analytical and look at how can I make things different? How can I react differently? How can I act differently? What are the few things that maybe I'm not changing that I'd like to change? So really looking at that with deeper scrutiny on a spot check basis. Then you want to look at your inventory on a daily basis. So kind of analyzing your day. You can journal at night. You can look over your day and look at where things have gone right, where things have gone wrong, what you'd like to change, what you think that you'd like to do better next time. And it could be just tweaking. And oftentimes, not only do we seek perfection in ourselves and others, but also we have a tendency to give up when the going gets tough. And if you're a recovering alcoholic, you know what I mean. We can all see the world in black and white. And so when things don't go the way we think they should go, or they don't go as quickly as we think they should go, then we have a tendency to just give up or say, you know, screw it, I'm not going to do this anymore. As one of my personal gurus, Tony Robbins, said in his program, Get the Edge, is how long would you give a baby to learn how to walk? The answer to that is you would never make a baby stop trying to learn how to walk, because eventually everyone learns how to walk. They may stumble and fall thousands of times before they actually get up and walk. The same goes for you and what you're trying to achieve, whether it's to erase those personal defects or suppress them in exchange for a healthier habit, or whether it's changing an attitude or an emotion. You need to give yourself time, and it takes practice and time again, and finally that behavior, attitude, emotion will change, but you need to allow yourself the time to practice. And doing a daily assessment can not only show you what you want to change, it can also show you where you actually have changed. Now, the third way we can do this is periodic checking. So every few months, every 6 months, doing a complete personal and moral inventory, just looking at where you're at. And you can do this with the Step 4 book. I know in Al-Anon there is the Step 4 book. I think it's Blueprint for Progress, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm sure in AA they have worksheets and books that correspond to Step 4 as well. So perhaps every 6 months you can go ahead and look at that and really take that personal inventory on a deeper level every 6 months or once a year. It's important to note that in Step 10 is there to remind us that we are a continual work in progress, that when we go through the 12 steps and we begin recovery and we continue on in our recovery, that we're not done, that we're always changing and growing. Now, if we could live in a bubble, things would be so much better, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have to deal with people and situations and circumstances and work and things like that. But that's not reality. Reality is the people in our lives are here to teach us lessons. They're here to teach us patience and kindness, compassion, love, not only toward them, but toward ourselves as well. The dynamics of relationship are what makes life beautiful. And we're learning to continually grow in ourselves so that we can better our relationships and better our environment. Now, the big book of AA says to look out for 4 things in particular. You want to look out for selfishness. You want to look out for dishonesty, resentment, and fear. So those are the 4 things that you really need to pay attention to when doing your daily assessment or even periodic assessment. But mostly with those 4 things, you want to do those on a daily basis. So I'll repeat those. You're looking for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. A lot of addiction is driven by all 4 of these things, especially as you're deep in the addiction, and it can be easy to snap back into those behaviors where you look at a situation and you're looking to blame others for the result of that situation, or you're fearful of what might happen beyond the next 24 hours. And as you know, if you're a recovering alcoholic or addict, you just need to focus on the next 24 hours, working the program day by day, working your sobriety day by day, and you don't really need to worry about what's in the future. If you do the best that you can each and every day, and you give your personal defects over to God or your higher power, then you know that the 24 hours after this initial 24 hours are going to be fine. So it's really taking that continual progress step by step. The second half of Step 10 is when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Now this is keeping with humility, the principle of humility and staying humble. And knowing that you are not perfect, nobody else is perfect, and it's just keeping in check your own behavior, not only with yourself, but with others. So you want to keep in check that behavior within yourself and saying, am I treating myself with kindness, compassion, and love? Am I treating others with kindness, compassion, and love? Am I arguing more than I need to? Am I impatient? Am I blaming? Am I aggressive? Am I arrogant with others? So looking at that, and when you find that you are, or you find that you are not in those positive aspects, then just saying you're sorry or saying, please forgive me. And it's also about forgiving others when you know that they're wrong. And it's not about correcting other people. It's not about trying to control the situation. And it's not about being right all the time. It's just about forgiving others for their faults and also asking for forgiveness when you've done something wrong on a continual basis so that it becomes a habit, so that it becomes a great habit to have. And when you look at that humility in Step 10, the first thing you need to do when you realize that you've let one of these negative traits into your behavior and into your attitude is first you can ask God again to remove those personal defects. And that's something that we really worked on not only in Step 4, but that we saw again in Steps 7 and 8. And so looking at asking God to help remove our personal defects. And then making amends, obviously, that we just talked about. The third thing is turning our thoughts to helping someone else in need. Now, this is a super important part of doing your personal inventory on a continual basis, and also about making amends with others. A lot of times we can get wrapped up in our own self-pity and our own story, and we forget that there are other people out there who really need us. And whether it's helping your child tie a shoe, or baking cookies for your daughter's classroom, or any other volunteer activity that you can do. It could be helping an AA friend get to a meeting. It could be helping an Al-Anon friend get to a meeting. So it's about giving friends a call, seeing where you're needed. It's asking those questions, how can I help and how can I serve, that will get you outside of yourself and your own mental disturbances and get you out into the world and helping and serving, and that's where we all should be. So I just wanted to say that, even if you are not a recovering alcoholic, or even if you're relatively new to the program and that you're going through the 12 steps just to figure out what they are, just know that in all walks of life, it's so important that we continually do this personal and moral inventory, that we're really looking at ourselves on a continual daily basis. I found this book, The Power of Focus, by Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Les Hewitt. And I just wanted to share with you something that I learned along my journey. And in the first chapter of this book, this is the second time that I'm reading this book, but in the first chapter of this book, they talk about creating good habits and letting go of bad habits. And that is the exact same thing that we're doing here in step 10, and the exact same thing that we're doing in step 4. It's looking at yourself with scrutiny. And this is not even a recovery book. So just so you know, and you don't feel pigeonholed into this like, oh my God, I'm in recovery, or my loved one's in recovery or not in recovery, and I'm pigeonholed into these stupid 12 steps, and I don't really want to do this anyway, and I'm not the one who needs help. That person needs help. When you get into that negative mindset, just know that there are many self-help books out there that preach basically the exact same thing as the 12 steps. That's why I believe the 12 steps are so brilliant, is that they really do work. And so I was looking at this chapter on changing your habits. This is the second time I've been through this. The first time was in the month of August that I picked up this book at the library right before I went on vacation, and I read through the book. I loved it. I made notes. I wrote notes in a notebook, and I started to make behavioral changes. And now the second time around, I created even more changes. So even though you might have made a whole host of changes already, just know that there's always more to come. Continual progress, never perfection, because we are not perfect. Only God is perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying these 12 steps. We've got 2 more to go. That does not mean you're done. You're a continual work of art. Please subscribe to my channel below. Share this video with friends, family, and your dog. And please support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. You can donate $1 a month, $3 a month, $10 a month to help support these videos and the video production that I don't get paid for, but I love doing because I love being with you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.